We are being hailed.
Another commercial pact. Mutation. Takes a little longer to reach, but this cost produces 2 minerals, costs 1 energy, so it's not huge surplus. This is you value the 2 minerals at 3 energy. It's surplus of 2. This is like 3.5. It's more than 50% more profitable. So I'll do that. The more profitable one first. So less, I mean, more minerals produced because I'll get the higher yielding thing done sooner and less energy upkeep. Probably profitable. And then go there to the Raw system. Another outpost. 16 systems make it 17, 18, 19, 20. I can get to Bean or Gothar. This would be great for my pops, but they don't have any. I don't know if the trade network thing works or is bugged now. It's just a pointless influence sync. $237.05 produced. I'll agree and see what happens next month. Take 14 extra trade. Okay, yeah, so I did get some. It even says produced commercial pack, just short of 9 trade. It's not a ton, but I'm swimming in influence. We take 3 Corvettes to produce 0.14, so meh. 6 Corvettes would cost less to upkeep than the commercial pack, so I could even just build more ships and it would pay for itself. At this point, you know. Let's grab Judgment Core. Roll an extra uni. Need it to certainly won't run. Oh, this adds stability now? At the cost of happiness, you actually lose stability in total. Terrible threats, probe our defenses, reinforced or guard. Increased resources must be sent to internal covert security departments to protect ourselves. Spend unity, decrease stability, basically, and crime. No thank you. Doesn't even... Start investing some energy in education campaign. Back to school. By momentarily spending resources, promote higher education programs among our leaders. Their skills improve at a faster rate. Doing that partly. So I'm thinking of hiring more leaders soon. I'd like to maybe see, before I do that, some level ups. Particularly the official of these two. We'll see. Yeah, this is going to be a start. Enemy shipyard. It's worth noting. It's in the same system as Two Worlds, so colonize, I guess. Or at least the desert world, since that's the habitability type of these. It's hazardous weather, at least it's a good generator world. I can remove that when I terraform the world later. But yeah, I'll probably just settle everywhere and then colonize. I have to double check. I don't think the terraforming events require the world be uninhabited, do they? All the new ones. Give me a sec, actually. Alright, also got some video editing on its way. Come on, one more sec. Alright, went in and double check stuff. So I had to grab a bit of coffee to keep me on my feet. Been up that long, but I'm exhausted. I did some reading after I got up because it was, my brain wasn't fiction. Nothing too challenging. Because my brain was just not working well enough to record. Looks like the only thing terraforming event that requires the planet be unpopulated is, of any significance anyway, is intentionally tidally locked. Which can only happen to moons, and when you're terraforming a moon that's already habitable, it's not not a tomb world, not barren or a tomb world, and generally not worth doing because, well, it makes for more efficient technician jobs with an additive multiplier. It reduces max districts enough that you'll, I mean, pop efficiency is great, but by the time you're terraforming worlds, you're probably actually more interested in getting more total districts. I don't know, a lot of ways to increase max districts on planets, so yeah. Definitely settle everywhere and then terraform the worlds later to ocean worlds and retake the pops for that. That's so I can eventually have aquatic pops everywhere. I don't know. I see my empires as a kind of work of art and seeing how well how productive and such I can get them in a way. Empires and collection of vassals. I don't know. I like to imagine mess around. If you're just going for a strong build, you just do an individualist machines and your pops will grow like weeds. It's so overpowered, which is why it's ridiculous that I'll do the visitor. The shroud can reveal many secrets to thee if thou art willing to pay the price. In the year 2230, so the chronicles state, a holy visitor came to anchor, a figure shrouded in mystery of a species hitherto unknown to us. He called himself simply Odd, and offered us a bargain. In return for a price yet to be named, he would send night into the shroud. From an entity within, the night would at last glean the knowledge we sought. I can let this expire. It will soon do so. If I'm going short on food, that ends up happening. Pulling farmers, especially because I can still get a food production multiplier from the Void Worm project, and there's also some chance of rolling the food boosting events if I really want food. Farmer output. Anyways, how intriguing. What could possibly be the harm in this? So I don't know. You're about to find out. You're all about to find out. Let me put it that way. Shroud is the most dangerous place. I might have missed this for a month. Oops. A lot of civilians now. Varied ethics. That's why they're in different groups. At least varied faction participation. Why do I suddenly have 7 less conserved fauna? Nothing is supposed to be able to touch their numbers. Still says it somehow employs 7 of them. It's not supposed to be able to do that either. Still see 300. Civilian being promoted, I hope not. Not supposed to be promoted. Building starbase is out this way. They can either be well, I wouldn't transfer the council. They have their own starbase limit. They're probably close to meeting. No, maybe not that close to see 2 starbases. They should have at least 3 limits. No, 1, 2, 3. They might actually be at their limit. They have more intense systems, so they have room for at least 1 more. Oh, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they're probably at their limit if they don't have stellar expansion yet. But yeah, I'll spin off a vassal over here, which will inherit my starbase cap, not from systems, but cap of 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Something like that. Spam vassals is... Why is it showing me part of it looks like a giant astral scar there? Weird. Becomes more worthwhile to spin on vassals at higher tech levels because tech becomes less cost effective, and small vassals will never keep up in the tech races. Even less so if you divert some of their labor to holdings and maybe even research tax them, like a squarium. Part of the reason it's good to absorb these guys is because they're not keeping up with me in tech, and when I release my vassal, absorb them, then re-release them. What I release will be at my current tech level, but then I'll fall behind, so... yeah. Why was I mention that? Oh, so, yeah, vassals can... Sorry, I skipped a step, but not explaining. So vassals can get star bases and have higher economic output, but they still won't keep up in tech, so... It's the kind of thing in the short run it's disruptive, in the medium run it's productive, but in the long run they fall so far behind tech you have to reabsorb them and re-release them. Of course, they might do things like, if I'm spiritualist, they might go Psionic Ascension and I'll have Psionic Pops, or if I go materialist at some point, they could end up going Synthetic Ascension. I think even the version where you go biological synthesization still adds deposits worlds, right? Or is that always the version if you're already machine? I forget. If it's the version where you're already machine, that's one more reason that individualist machines are the strongest empire type in the game. By far. It's stuff like it's a toxic god, which can't be done by machine empires, I'm mistaken, is much weaker than any of the machine origins that can, than the strongest origins that can, for sure. So I hate the people whine, oh, it's too powerful. No, it's not. This is not an overpowered origin because it's limited to empire types. They're inherently of the weaker sort. Biological. And they did not make the new biological ascensions at all competitive in power levels with like cybernetic or especially the synthetic ascensions. They have a considerable amount of content for them, but they just preserve the pattern of biological being the weaker ascension path. It's a definite bias towards machines, which comes from, honestly, the techno-optimistic right-wing currents. Sorceress of Secrets is the next step. I can delay that, because that's, I think, the one that almost immediately leads to debuff to output. The companies like Paradox probably have a lot of people in this. At its most extreme, you get the techno-fascists of Silicon Valley, but obviously I doubt Paradox is any of that. But there's still a right-wing bias, and think at this thought that technology will solve all our problems is just a load of shit. And towards computers specifically, like biology is never properly respected as a technological field in this way of looking at the world. Even though there's immense things we can do to change the world, biology, at least as big as anything with computers, probably bigger. A quest reward. Group of knights just came back from a long quest. It's nice to know I can do that while this is still active. Their spaceships are battered, and their power armors have seen better days. Could have delayed this, but because scale science would be more valuable later. But it could have been just resources that would have been still useful. It was a grueling journey that yielded scarce yet precious insight about the talks of God. Despite the hardships endured, spirits are high, for they did not come back empty-handed, and their stories will make fine additions to the chronicles. Excellent. Some stored physics data. Help me get this a little sooner. Construction complete, but it was cut off by this fluctuating shield frequencies. I got this scientist carefree too, really? That's not even a very good one. Back. And science ship. Didn't age while they were in there. Weird. Alright, well, discovery. And go discover what's off this way. Maybe Batuta. Oh, okay, except over there. Well, can explore this way. Need to map these systems more. Hmm. So it's worth noting, get a lot of automated workforce, over 400 here, technicians. Costs 36 energy. See, I get 75 for each. But yeah, it's profitable. Have all these, even if I employ the technicians, just have the districts running with automation. Get most of my basic resources from automation if I have enough districts, which the problem is that takes up space. So is population growth a little, but I need a lot of specialists, particularly metallurgists. Storing a little more consumer goods, but I don't want to go to militarized economy very soon. Wish it would stop bugging me about that one empty build slot in the generator district on, or the reactor one on Anchor. If I can't automate, then it's not like I can even automate that type of district at all. And it's not really worth adding anything there. So it's in danger of hitting the minerals cap. I wanted to do resource storage cells or something. Cells I deactivate until I need them. It's a fair low yield thing. Sometimes you can store up resources at one price and sell them at a higher one later. That's often a thing you can do in games. I'm thinking of Dwarf Fortress, where you can keep vast stockpiles and actually benefit from price fluctuations and some things. Sometimes profit off it. It's very marginal. With a sufficiently skilled trader, you can do that if I remember correctly. I think the margins allow for it. Sometimes you can get events where goods be paid double or triple for. Of course, you can only sustain a tiny number of dwarves that way, like be able to meet their food costs if they're not producing anything, but it can augment production. It's a good game, that Dwarf Fortress, and Well, I'll definitely do a let's play of that at some point, or 3.
Construction completed.
Let's plays that seem to get a lot of viewers, and that's my goal. Got some, I think honestly, like teenagers just wanted me to be psychic and know the games he wants me to do, but wouldn't even mention in the comments what games he's interested in me to do. Is like do indie games. It's like, name a game, I'll try it. I'm not just gonna buy random indie games. I'm not just gonna do demos, which usually spend a lot of effort learning how to even do well enough to stream. And then you can find they get no viewers. To do something different, I need suggestions. I am listening for them, audience, so do suggest things. And hopefully if I'm still There may be periods in my life where I can't YouTube, but if I'm in a place where I can do it, I'm seeing this when this finally publishes this video in like February or March, way after I recorded it in July. I will most certainly it's too many always put away right now. I will most certainly, you know, consider and very likely do a video and see how the views are and such and stuff. I want to do more of whatever you suggest. Unless, I mean, some game that's like far-right propaganda or something, maybe a few things I won't touch. And if it's a game I have to buy, then the price is a huge consideration. It's very likely not gonna happen. But if it's a game that's free, like demo or something, I don't see why not. It costs money, unless someone's literally gonna like donate the cost of the game through YouTube, which I don't think people can do yet. I'm not likely to spend money just because one person's thing, unless I look and I see that videos of that game are likely to stream well. The whole point of this YouTube is to survive, to get to a point where I can make enough money to survive with my long COVID. This is work I can do from home. I can do a lot more than a lot of things that are physically demanding. I can't do it all, or I can only do tiny shifts and be exhausted for days after because of my long COVID and how it affects my energy levels. It's not like a normal person. I'm not like, oh, I just get tired by doing physical work. No. I mean, I do physical work for a modest number of hours and I can barely get out of bed for 3 days. This is a disease, long COVID, that fucks with your immune system and makes you exhausted all the time. If you don't experience it, don't try and gaslight people who have it about it not being real. I've seen people do that occasionally. I doubt any of my viewers are, but there's pieces of shit on Reddit who've done that before. Reddit has some of the most toxic people anywhere. It's one reason I don't use it anymore. So it's the fact that I was getting harassed by a moderator who was swearing at me over something someone else did. He mixed me up with that user. When I reported it to Reddit, they banned me for harassment. They probably just marked the wrong user, but they wouldn't even listen. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? This guy, I didn't do anything. This guy is swearing at me and I'm being polite. And unless it, and I messaged the other listed moderators, the sub, saying one of your moderators is being rude. I don't know which because they're anonymous in mod mail, but I don't think that constitutes. And they didn't try and justify it. They just were radio silent. They were probably doing is they went to my post history side of left-wing posts, and because all of these social media platforms censor left-wing people. Decided they were just gonna ban me. Especially when this guy was one of a group of mods that invaded a sub to attack people over what's going on in the Near East. That one where people had been criticizing a certain government. It's doing certain crimes against humanity. I said the name. YouTube will probably try and reduce my videos' views of the name of that government because all these freaking companies have right-wing bias, social media, including YouTube, and will try and keep left-wing content from getting any attention or criticism of certain governments that are darlings of the techno-fascists. Yeah, this game has like no representation whatsoever of the immense benefit society that curing, say, most diseases would provide. And that's not medical worker jobs. Medical worker jobs are... There's a difference between making a discovery that's going to make... These are technologies. These are things that would make medical worker jobs far, far, far more efficient. So if you're adding medical worker jobs and they're based on how valuable medical care is today or might be in a certain point in the future where it's a little more advanced, then you're not incorporating how it can be made far more efficient just through technology, like the way that jobs make technician jobs more productive in this game. There's a lot of technologies that without additional resources to any significant extent can just make medical care far more cost effective just by increasing our understanding of diseases and new cures, because new medicines are only expensive because paying back the research costs. They're actually not that much expensive to produce. I mean, medicines cost a fair bit to produce, but the newer ones aren't usually that much more than the older ones, or more at all. Sometimes they're actually cheaper to produce. There's not an increase in cost. And they're always far cheaper than diseases are to have people like unable to work and stuff like that. Constant pain, less productive for it. Medical worker job's not nearly strong enough. There could be techs that like make them add happiness to pops, increase their pop growth effect. Should be direct happiness, not amenities, because curing diseases is something that's entirely separate and affect people's quality of life in a way that no amount of, say, entertainment is not going to make. Not like, oh, well, there's plenty to watch on TV, so you don't need your cancer cured. It won't make you happier. That's a load of shit. But the way it's structured represents the biases of the techno-optimists. They can lean all the way to, again, like in Silicon Valley, this reaches techno-fascism. But techno-optimist bullshit right-wing air quote futurism that pervades studios like Paradox. And conservative bias, because not the devs, it's the management. I mean, Sweden is a social democracy, and a lot of countries in Europe that they actually operate, they're like studios that use game like Belgium and stuff have more left-wing people, but management are almost always the most selfish, greedy people. Someone who wants to go into like business is more likely than not a psychopath who cares about no one than themselves, or at least less empathetic than the average person. I suspect in Europe there's less psychopaths, but in America there's a lot who go into business. Especially a huge red flag for me is whenever I meet someone who wants to go into finance, because they're almost always a person who doesn't give a shit about anyone else but themselves. It's not like they want to make money to donate to charity. It's like they want to make money to live a life of luxury, and they don't care if there's homeless people living on their doorstep. In fact, they look down as people and ignore them. Event Kai Sha. What? Ah. Paragon. Scans show that the woman's cloak conceals a truly shocking array of weaponry. We cannot find any official record of her existence, yet facial recognition algorithms place her in the vicinity of at least 3 high-profile assassinations. Allow me to dispense with the formalities. You are no fool. You understand that the universe is full of dangers, most of them invisible. For the right price, I can reveal them. Shadow Broker. Far from a simple spy, this leader spins a web of informants, smugglers, and assassins. Pause this so I can focus more on what's said. When something needs doing quietly, this can prove an enormous asset. Flavor text aside, infiltration speed, which I almost freaking never do, operation cost, useless. Infiltration is almost never valuable, unless maybe I'm infiltrating a pre-FTL that could be useful. Available envoys, +2. Certainly without the Nemesis expansion, not that useful. Of course, the freaking game must know I don't have Nemesis, so it's give me a Paragon that's most useful with it. Because assholes. So I assume the game algorithm is designed to try and sell the DLCs a little bit. This kind of thing. Spycraft. Number effect discounts or infiltration speed. Again, useless. Operation cost. Again, useless. Some commanders prefer to use more subtle methods by employing spies and informants rather than brute strength. This is normally a commander trait, but she is an official. And ambassador. Ambassadors maintain relationships with other empires, both overtly and in more subtle ways. The art of diplomacy and the subtle craft of espionage both fall under their domain. Eye for talent and tyrannical. Put her on the council. With leadership experience gain not nearly worth the happiness. big thing is extra envoys. Sue is known for treating her subordinates in cruel and oppressive ways. And she's authoritarian. Who are you? Who I am is of no importance. Better ask what I can do for you. I am a useful tool. Give me time, and none will dare rebel. After all, there can't be a betrayal if the traitor's already dead. Now, Paragons usually have unique event chains they can sometimes roll. Working as an independent has its perks. Why helpless? But stability isn't one of them. After a while, one tires of playing all sides at once. To be honest, I was starting to attract too much attention. The shadow of your throne is as good a spot as any for me to lay low. Plus, it lets me try my hand at a different, more subtle game. How can we trust you? You can't, and shouldn't. I sell to the highest bidder. Just make sure that's you, and there's no need to worry. Besides, if someone says you should trust them, I would say that such a person is suspicious, perhaps even treacherous. I would immediately send a team to bug their home, tail them, and keep tabs on whoever they meet. For a spy, come heavily armed. In my line of work, surprises tend to be fatal. I like to be ready. Right. Give me a sec. Look up the events that associate with this. I'm a little iffy about hiring this person. Sorry, got a little sidetracked there. I didn't see anything to indicate anything of particular concern here. One of the annoying things about some of the renowned paragons is some of them can add permanent empire modifiers, which will not be passed on if I swap to successor empire sort of thing. Because they have limited lifespans, you may also not want to recruit them sometimes if your lifespan enhancing techs aren't advanced enough. It really would be nice if, I'm not sure if you reject a paragon, if they'll come back, you can hire them later. Anyways, I would have to put this person in the council to get their envoys. They'd mainly be useful for getting a little more data off pre-FTLs through infiltrating them on more society research, but some influence. The big thing is unity. It's level 4 official, though. I don't have to take any of these if I don't want. I could just use them as a level 4 plant governor. Let's take a quick look. It's not even letting me open a different tab here. Oh, there we go. Probably replace John von Falkenstein. This guy. Extra resource output. But a higher plant upkeep. I have so much energy upkeep. Actually, I'm pretty sure the architectural interest is better. Than 2 more levels. Plus, this person will level up over time. Trade focus isn't terrible either if I hit some trade jobs. Give me a sec to think. Yeah, I'll enlist her. Point me to your problems now vanish, be they political or corporeal. Let's puts me over the official cap, unfortunately. It's going to cut down leader experience gain by 14% multiplicatively. Little trust growth. I probably don't want this person in the council right now. The Convat's not listed with other buildings. I don't know. Oh, because they asked for some food. I'm seeing around 56 energy, and that's with a reduction of, so it should be 4 times that. 14 energy I'm getting from architectural interest here, and growing. Yeah, I'm almost certainly better with this guy than Ambassador. I'll hold on to Kaisha here. She'll live to be 110. Like a resilient leader, but doesn't have resilient. She must be from a particularly long-lived species. Alright, or renowned paragons made to live a little longer now. Extra 25. So this is costing substantial uni. I have to lay off the scientists soon. I'll probably see what Ernst Klein gets when they level up. Traits, if I don't like it. Oh, one of them's going. Bye-bye. The leader will die soon. The Minister of State will take over as Empire leader. And yeah. Excuse me. As a militarist official? No, thank you. Or a pacifist, righteous. Maybe if there was one of this species that was pacifist. Let's stick Kaisha on the council just to make the agendas go faster. Pretty sure higher level leaders advance agendas quicker. Give me a sec more. Yep. Now I think I just need to tough through being a little over my official cap for like 10, 15 years till my ruler dies and I won't be anymore. Sucks. The number of leaders is always too limited, if you ask me. But there's going to be some weaning the number of leaders. Often worth going 1 over leader cap and no more. Reggie Posh. Where is that? Curiosity. That's mining world. Here. Decent little population. Huh. And the North says, once I annex this empire, that there could potentially end up governing this world, since mining worlds benefit from commander. What the hell? Research specializations. The Sea District. That doesn't at all line up with... Guess they're doing those everywhere. Alright, let's play this and... soundtrack in a sec. I'm gonna have to end this.
We are being hailed.
Migration treaty. I got a sample of this Empire's pops. No. Plus I have more than enough trust growth. It's the commercial pat, 0.6 a month. Some debris. Mapping the stars here and surveying off there. There's nothing else a good way to train my scientists. One more science ship. Which would be complete after the Genesis arc. Let's get another trade hub here. Synth is up to 3.12. Working pops. Interesting to see what the extra housing units add. Shoot. I'll run some enforcers now. That is crime. Hmm. Don't find some of this is actually shatoids. Boom, boom. Surveys everywhere. All right. Well, Hope you folks enjoyed this video. Until next time, this is Northstar. And I wish you all the best. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. May you always find a guy and start a video. Sorry if we went the video. Adieu.